As a Fringe Sport employee, I really don't have a Fringe Sport home gym. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to be taking this mess of a garage gym as it is right now and transforming it into the Fringe Sport Media Cave. How's it going, everyone? This is Tim from Fringe Sport. In a new environment today, a new setting, I'm inviting you into my humble abode that is a mess of a home gym right now. We do a lot of shooting in our showroom, which is great because it's a good opportunity for everybody to see all of our product and even some sneak peeks, which a lot of you cheeky viewers have pointed out at one time or another. But because we're all about outfitting home gyms, why don't we actually start shooting in some home gyms? And that's when I got the idea, why don't I just transform this garage gym into a true Fringe Sport gym? So that's exactly what we'll be doing today. I already have my freight delivered. We're going to be setting up a Dane. I have the Osprey right there, so I'm going to be actually making an 8-post Dane. Megala Dane is what I'm coining the term as, and a few other fun things too. Now, granted, I'm not going to have every single Fringe product in here just because I would need a massive space for that, but this will be a good opportunity to give people what they could transform into their home gym into just by using some Fringe Sport products. Let's go through the current setup of the home gym. A lot of the idea that went into this was make it as specific to powerlifting as possible, just because I used to compete in powerlifting. I did for about 7 or 8 years and retired back in 2021. So that's why I've got the deadlift platform right here in front of me. There used to be mats on it, but I'm going to be moving those off to the side. There's an 8x8 powerlifting spec platform right here that's carpeted. And I've got a TSS rack on here. And for those of you that don't know, these are the types of racks that are used in powerlifting competitions. You've got some from TSS, Eleiko, Rogue. I think Ghost was bought by Rogue, Hanzu Power. There's several different powerlifting combo rack companies out there. But behind me, I have the Osprey, which has been here for quite some time, actually. And this is what I'll be using to convert that Dane 2 into an 8-post Dane by putting this in the middle. And this is going to be replacing the squat station and bench station that was formerly taken up by this combo rack. So the first part is obviously giving myself enough room to get all the equipment in, and to do that, I need to take apart this deadlift platform. One, because it's going to make moving this a lot easier, and two, I'm going to be using some of this wood to extend off of this 8x8 platform to turn it into an 8x12 platform, just because I need roughly that amount of space for all the uprights from the Dane and the Osprey. And before you say anything about my Ryobi tools, I know, if it was up to me, I'd have Milwaukee or DeWalt. Also, for the record, I'm not the one that built this deadlift platform. I'd do a much better job if it was me. So I've got the combo rack taken off. I removed the carpet, removed all the screws, and I'm left with 4 sheets of 4x8 plywood. If you didn't know, powerlifting platforms are 8x8. They use 2 layers of plywood, 2 going this way, 2 going that way, because that is the spec. That's the minimum requirement. So I'm going to be left with a little bit of extra wood that I'll use to assemble the deadlift platform later. But what we're going to do here, I mentioned before, we're going to make an 8x12 platform to have the Megalodane, where there's going to be cable right here, Osprey in the middle, cable right here. So I'm going to have to move all these plates, take apart the Osprey, and it's just a lot of hard work. Now, I need to preface this. I love Texas. I'm glad I moved here. But why are the garages sloped down? The issue that we ran into before with the original 8x8 platform was, again, because garages are sloped down, it was not level. And if you know anything about powerlifters and weightlifters, we love having level flooring. So to combat that, I have some plastic shims that I'll be throwing underneath both sheets of plywood, and I have a third that I'm going to have to put over there, but I need to move the Osprey first. But that's going to level out the floor. And I already have my level on the floor right here, so I know how many shims I need to throw underneath here. But again, I want to do this before throwing the stall mat on top of here. For this platform here, we're going to be doing 1 layer of plywood. This is 3/4 inch, 4x8. And then we're going to make that second layer some stall mat. So it's going to go straight from stall mat to stall mat eventually. All right, so current state of affairs. I'm in a little bit of a jam right now, but it's okay. We adapt to our situations. I got the Osprey on the platform right now, and don't worry about this right here because I need to cut some 2x4 sheets of stall mat, but I'm probably going to have to use all 4 sheets of 4x8 plywood on this side just because of the sheer width of the unit. 3 platforms are not going to be nearly enough for that. So instead of this whole section right here being a 12x8, it's going to be a 16x8 instead. And again, I've got plenty of room here. Just to reiterate what we're doing, the Osprey is going to be here in the middle. The Bob Smith machine is going to go on the front of the rack. That way I get full capability out of it. And for any freestanding barbell movements like squat and bench press, that's going to be done on the inside of a rack, much like how you would use a traditional power cage anyway. And then one side of the weight stack on the Dane is going to be on this side of the Osprey, and then the other side is going to be over here. If you didn't already know, the base of the Dane is the Osprey framework, which is why this is going to work pretty much perfectly. But again, because of the sheer width of everything, I'm going to need much more space on either side of the Osprey. So I'm going to get all this cleaned up on this side, then lay out the other sheets of plywood, get some more stall mat on top of that, and then we'll start to unboxing everything that I have because I've got a lot of stuff on that freight. All right, I've got the hard part taken care of, and that's making sure that the platform is set in place. When it comes to these bare spots back here, like I had mentioned, I'm going to cut out some 2x4 sheets of stall mat, and that's going to fill in those gaps, and I'm going to worry about that after the fact. What I also did was I took some screws and I secured the stall mat to the plywood. That way, when I'm moving some equipment around, it's not going to move on me. Believe me, if you've built platforms before and you tried lifting on them and you don't secure them, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's the hard part out of the way. The Osprey is going to be here more towards the center of the platform. It's going to be a little offset more towards the wall, but that's totally okay. I don't want to move it to my left just because, one, we've got the fuse panel right there, and 2, we're going to be putting up some mirrors, and also we're going to have a treadmill on the side right here. But I also want to limit the plumbing over here and our water softener, just because if we end up hitting those, it's going to be a total mess. So I'm going to tidy up a little bit just to give myself some room to work, and then we could start unpackaging a lot of the stuff. This is going to be a long day. It's still a little bit of a mess, and I know it might be a little difficult to see me. I'm going to try my best while editing this, but let's get to the creme de la creme, the piece de la resistance, piece de resistance, however you say it. You know what? I never really understood the excitement for doing a garage gym. I get it now. Okay, that unboxing took a little longer than I wanted just because I am also on the clock, so I had to help out with some customer service things at Fringe. Shout out to you, Taylor. But here's the plan right now. I've already moved everything over to their respective sides, and again, I'm making a Frankenstein of a rack. So that's why I've got 2 uprights right here, 2 uprights over there, and also the cross members that are going to be going on the top and the bottom. This banner is going to be going in the back of the Osprey instead. So I'm swapping out that traditional brushed aluminum banner that we usually give with the Osprey and swapping it out with the Dane one. And the cross member that normally comes with the Dane is going to go where the pull-up bar is on the Osprey right now. That's just to hold both of these pieces together. And then I've got that pull-up bar from the Osprey and then a pull-up bar from the Dane, and that's going to go on either side of the Osprey. And then once I settle things in a little bit and see what else I need, I'm probably going to get 2 pegboards for both sides of the Dane portion of the rack. But yeah, I mean, now comes the fun part, the assembly. So I'll show a little bit of B-roll footage of that, but I'm probably going to be showing the finalized product tomorrow, just because it is getting a little bit later in the day. It is about 4:20 right now, blaze it. But yeah, let's have some fun. A couple hours went by. I got the base framework done. I'm losing light pretty quickly, so I'll probably just spend the rest of the night doing this and show the final product tomorrow. Because if there's one thing about me, I don't stop until I'm finished. Take that as you will. Anyway, so the base framework, I've got the Dane going on this side, the Dane going on this side, and I've got the Osprey right here in the middle. So really all I need to do now is get the weight stacks on both of those frames right there. Obviously the guide rods, the cables, the gibbon arms. And as I mentioned, the bob is going to be going right here, the Smith machine, and all squatting and benching done with just a plain barbell is going to be here inside of the rack. And I made sure to give myself just enough room for a bench to fit right here. Actually, second thought, I might scoot it up just a hair because I have plenty of room on that side where the extension feet are, and that's pretty much my guide right there. But yeah, I'm pretty excited with how it looks so far. I already tried to pull up bars. That's why things took a little bit longer than I wanted, because the positioning of the pull-up bar, this is something I completely overlooked. The shrouds for the pulleys on the Dane portion, they wouldn't allow the pull-up bars to be attached to the cross members right there. So for this one, I had to attach it to the upright. And then just because the pull-up bar that comes with the Dane, the holes are a little bit different than the one that comes with the Osprey, I still have it on the cross members, but I had to move it up about 2 or 3 holes. So yeah, as I had mentioned, the pegboards are going to go right there and right there. And I'm probably going to get a couple of bumper toasters right there and right there. Here's going to be powerlifting plates, which I'll line with rubber just because they are steel plates. And then the plain old bumper plates are going to be right there. But yeah, see you tomorrow. Still have a lot of work ahead of me, but I'm excited. It's the next day. I went to sleep 2 a.m. Pissed off a lot of neighbors, but the Dane cave is done. We're not calling it the Fringe Sport Media whatever anymore, because I posted this in the Garage Gym Facebook group and someone recommended, and I'll put the screenshot here, but someone recommended we call this the Dane cave. So you know how a lot of people will call this their pain cave? It's the Dane cave. It's great. Yeah. So let's do a little bit of a walkthrough of our new, I'm calling it the Megalodane. So I mentioned several times in the video yesterday that the base of this unit was the Osprey, and we've had this Osprey for quite some time. I want to say going on 2 years. It's just been sitting here in the garage more or less collecting dust, because we had the TSS combo rack in here, so we would use that for squat, bench, and really any other barbell-based movements. So that is the base of the unit, and on the front of here, I have the Bob Smith machine attached, and I don't have the hooks on it or anything right now because this is primarily going to be used for Romanian deadlifts and hip thrusts. Again, great thing about the Bob Smith is that it's low enough so you could do hip thrusts on this machine. And all squatting and pressing, just freestanding barbell stuff is going to be done on the inside of the rack. And I've already got some plates on here because I don't have the bumper toasters just yet. But there's also a brand new Falcon bench on the inside of the rack. I'm a huge fan of this bench. The padding is super nice. The upholstery is really good. And it's just a great unit overall. But that's pretty much the inside of the unit. Then I've got some storage pegs on the back of there, just for some temporary storage until we get the pegboards in. So I've got some bands attached to there and all of our collars and additional attachments up there. Then on either side, I took the framework of the Dane. So obviously the left side of the Dane going here, right side of the Dane going over there. And then I have the gibbon arms attached on both sides right here. And there was, I think it was Kevin in the Garage Gym Facebook group asking if we had enough cable travel using the gibbon arms. And granted, I've got a little bit of a longer wingspan, but when it comes to cable travel, there's no problem with it whatsoever. Really, the only way this is possible is if you use something like the gibbon arms or something that extends further out, because with traditional trolleys, you would just be experiencing a pretty bad time. So the thing that took me a little bit of extra time yesterday was setting up these pull-up bars, because if you remember watching in that B-roll, I had them more towards the center of the cross members, but because of one, the shroud for the pulleys up there, and then two, the brackets for the guide rods, I wasn't able to do that. So the Osprey pull-up bar is more towards the front here, and then the Dane pull-up bar is, I was able to do that in the middle, attached to two cross members. But then for other bells and whistles, obviously we've got the free attachments that come with the Dane too. So we've got the landmine right there, the spotter arms, J-cups, D-handles are somewhere in the back, and the extension feet are already on the furthest ends. Then I've got the lat pull-down seat. I took the Sting sample. I just took the sample, so we have the other one for the showroom. But then SBD belts out the ass. I want to say we have close to $1,500 of belts just on that right now. I don't know why. But then I've got the Mammoth belt squad over there, which I actually have to replace. The dip station, and then over here I set up our Dragonfly. I've got the low row foot plate right there, just some random kettlebells. And this isn't just a Fringe garage. We had some other things in here before, and people know that. That's totally fine. But the base of the gym now is the Megalodane. If you have a better name for this, let me know down below in the comments, because if we end up doing this, we might pick your name to sell this package. But I'm super excited with how this turned out. I know it's just white right now, and people hate black garage gyms, but we're going to be in the process of painting it black. So any future videos that we're going to see that take place in the Dane Cave, as we're going to call it now, will be black. And we'll also have some nice overhead lights. But I had a lot of fun recording this, even though it took me close to 15 hours in total to get all this set up, with leveling the platform, leveling the deadlift platform, which I also forgot to mention. I had to do some pretty aggressive leveling with this deadlift platform right here, but it's great now. We're not going to have any bar movement. And yeah, I'm just really excited to see how we slowly transform this garage gym. And this has been Tim with Fringe Sport. If you enjoyed watching this video, be sure to drop it a thumbs up, because it helps us a ton more than you think, and it's free. It's no cost to you. What are you waiting for? If you want to see any other content just like this, please be sure to sub to the channel. And hopefully, we'll see all you guys in that next video in the Dane Cave.